and happy Friday. It is the 3rd of December today and I have been up for a fair few hours. I got up at about 5:30. Jim has a delivery down in London today, so he was up and off very early, and in the nature of me wanting to get back into the good habit of waking up early and going to the gym, I decided to get up and just stay awake and hopefully go to bed a little bit earlier and continue the early wake ups throughout the rest of the week. So for the last couple of hours I've actually just been trying to sort all my technical stuff out that's been going wrong over sort of like the last couple of days. I've just had a few techie issues that have just been presenting themselves every day in all manner of ways, and it's been very annoying. And I'm like okay with technology, I'm like not too bad, but I just haven't had the time to sort of like sit down and find like a more permanent solution to what's been going on. So I've been literally doing that all morning. I woke up and opened my Puckety advent calendar number 3, and it was, I think it was the Manuka honey, I don't know, I can't remember. Do I have, oh yeah, it was a lemon, ginger and Manuka honey, and it was delicious. And it is now 9:30, so I am going to make myself some breakfast. I ain't too sure what I'm gonna have. There's a couple of eggs, there's some seeded batch loaf, there's porridge. What's in the fridge? Oh, I don't know what I fancy. I'm really in the mood for something and I ain't sure what I'm in the mood for. Don't you hate them moods? Does that technically mean that I'm not hungry if I'm not necessarily deciding on something straight away? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I could easily eat toast, like any time I can have myself some toast. But I weighed in this morning and I am going to make a weigh-in video. It's probably going to go up before this video, so you'll already know that I am 5 pounds heavier than when I last weighed in. And I last weighed in 3 weeks ago, and for one reason or another, I just decided to have a little break from weighing in. And I knew that I would be up from what my last weigh-in was, which was 14 stone 2 pounds, and I knew that it was gonna be up, because it's only been this last sort of like week where, I mean, let me just have a look, because I've not even really looked at this, but it's only really been this last week that I have actually, well, since Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and today are the only days like I've consecutively tracked. I tracked the week commencing the 13th of November to the 19th of November, and then the week after that, the 20th to the 26th. I tracked sort of like sporadically, but it doesn't look like I was tracking like accurately. And then obviously this week I didn't track Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I started tracking from Monday. So I mean, I can't like be disappointed in the fact that when my weight's up. I'm disappointed in the fact that I couldn't sort of like stick with it, and obviously I'm disappointed that I ain't further along my journey, but I'm not really upset about it. It is what it is, and I'm a realist, and life happens, things happen, and kind of get in the way. Some people are granted with the mindset that they're not necessarily emotionally connected to food, and they have the ability to just sort of like, everyone has their coping mechanisms is what I'm trying to say, and food is one of my coping mechanisms for stress, for many things, and I'm trying to combat that, and I feel like I'm getting there and making some really good headway with it, but I'm not there yet. I ain't there yet. So I'm not necessarily disappointed in the fact that I had a bit of a stressful time, had a few things going on. There's not really any sort of like excuse for it, but then again, I'm not like looking for excuses. Like, I feel like I'm not trying to sort of like excuse the fact that life sometimes happens, and you know, I have an emotional disordered connection to food. That's just what the situation is, and my journey isn't linear, and I'm getting to terms with that. You know, it's not going to every single week be down. It's going to be, you know, up and down and staggered, but it is eventually going to be at my goal, and that is one thing I know for sure. It's just a bit of a rough ride, you know. It's just not going to be so simple. However, I just feel like the more that time goes on, I do feel like I'm making more headway, and that might not be prevalent in the fact that I haven't had a huge successful like weight loss story, in the sense of I haven't lost a massive amount of weight, and I've sort of like maintained my around 2 stone weight loss for like the last 6 months or something. So I know that it might not make total sense for me to say, well, I am making progress, because the scales would say otherwise, but I just know in myself, like in my health and my attitude and the way it's going, I think all these sort of like little cogs need to turn in order for the bigger cog to turn, and then I feel like my weight loss hopefully will then come. But I needed this time. Everything that's happened has happened for a reason. It's happening to get me to the stage where I can maintain and live a healthy life for the rest of my life. I'm not like doing this just for a year, and then, you know, when it comes to January, I'm gonna say, oh well, I tried it for a year, didn't really work, and cut my losses. I'm still gonna keep going, and then once I get to my goal, it's gonna be a journey to maintain. So yeah, that's it. So I'm 5 pounds up in weight, but I ain't too, like, I'm not too concerned about it, because I think if I weighed in and I was up and I knew that I had done everything in my effort to lose weight, I would be very sad. But I know I haven't done everything in my effort to lose weight, but I also know that it's not quite like as bad as, like, it's not as if I've binged every single day. I haven't actually binged. I've overeaten on occasions, but I certainly haven't binged, and I've just had stuff going on, you know, emotional stuff. And sometimes life is all about priorities, and sometimes my weight loss can be my main focus. Sometimes other things have to come in and be my main focus. It doesn't mean that I'm not concerned about my weight loss. It doesn't mean that I'm like not necessarily putting in the effort. It just means that that other thing has taken precedence at that time. But I'm learning to try and sort of like manage life as well as being healthy, as well as managing a calorie deficit. So we'll get there, we'll get there. Does anybody else sort of like feel like they can relate to anything that I'm saying? I always find it very comforting when people reach out and say, I totally feel like that too, or I totally get you. I mean, I'm very fortunate to not have like, I have a really, really supportive, wonderful like group of people on this journey with me who have subscribed, and just such a lovely bunch of people who are so supportive, and it's very, very, very rare that I get any sort of like negative shade or things thrown at me, which is really nice. So that would mean, that says to me that people get me and people feel somewhat the same, and other people are struggling on a journey. And you know, sometimes I think when you can watch like people's weight loss journey on YouTube, and especially those who have already like lost a bunch of weight, and they are sort of like maybe reflecting on the journey, or they've got that and you're watching it all back, even if it's taken them like 2 years to do that, sometimes it can feel, you can be really hard on yourself and like put so much pressure on yourself, and time is so relative. I mean, 2 years is a long time to dedicate to something, and most of the people that I have watched or enjoy watching or things like that on YouTube, it's taken them around that period to get to their weight loss goal. Most people that I follow on Instagram or you know, other social platforms that have achieved a goal, it's taken them multiple years to get there too. This isn't like something that's gonna change overnight, especially sort of like habits that I've had for a lifetime. So if anybody else is feeling like me, don't feel alone. I'm going through it too. It's difficult, it is really, really hard, but the trick is for us to not give in and to keep trying. Don't give up. So I am now, like I said, probably an hour ago, before my major ramble, I'm gonna go and fix myself some breakfast. So it's 10 to 2 and I have literally been trying to sort out my computer for the last well actually probably since about 5:30 this morning. So I'm going slightly insane with it. That isn't all I've been doing. I have filmed a weigh-in video and done a little bit of like other work as well, but I need my laptop to work, and the problem with it, basically, I've got like scratch disk issues and things like that, and it's just it is a nightmare. I feel like technology issues or problems are one of my most hated things to deal with. It's driving me crazy. I haven't had anything else to eat. I've had a little bit of water, but I haven't had anything. I'm just not hungry. I feel like these issues are taking away my appetite. If there's anything to be good found in this problem. But yeah, this is probably going to be a very sort of boring, mundane video. But as I'm vlogging, I thought I'd better pick up the camera and sort of like explain what I'm doing. I think it's time for a cup of tea. So it is 20 to 3 and I'm still trying to sort out my Mac. But I have decided that I am going to just quickly heat up some soup. Thankfully, Renourish to the rescue again. No time to make any lunch, but I'm going to have the pea, basil and lemon soup. I'm just gonna pop you down while I open the bottle. yeah, because it literally just takes 3 minutes in the microwave. And it is 205 calories for the entire bottle. It's really yummy as well, so. And I think I'm also, oh sorry, I should have really done that beforehand, but I'm also going to make myself a herbal tea. And I think, let's have a look, what have we got? Oh, everything's falling out the cupboard. I'm gonna have a original chai. Is this caffeinated? I think this is caffeinated. Just let me have a look. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So hopefully the energy from the soup and the tea will get me through sorting out my Mac. If any of you are like Mac computer wizards, please get in touch, because I would like to pick your brain about something. To be perfectly honest, I think it's time for a new computer. Because when I bought my MacBook, I still did sort of like photo editing and things like that. The occasional video, nothing like, I've not done any proper video editing since I was at uni. But when I initially bought my MacBook, it was mainly just for admin work, like portable admin work. Like just access to the internet, to my emails, Microsoft Word, Excel, all that kind of stuff. And now obviously I'm making videos pretty much every day. I'm working from an external hard drive, so I'm trying everything that I can do, but my hard drive on my MacBook it's actually only 120 gig anyway, so it's not very big to begin with, but there's nothing on there, so it shouldn't be like, I've literally looked, I've delved into the back and beyond of my Mac, and I can't see why this, basically, long story short, there is a proportion of files or something on my Mac which is taking up the majority of the space, and I can't work out what it is. It's not any kind of like random files or like saved Premiere Pro files. There's nothing like that. There's no clutter on my Mac whatsoever. So I don't know what it is, and it's driving me insane, driving me round the bend. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can kind of figure something out by today, because I just don't have time. I do not have time to spend hours and hours like fixing a computer. Like literally, I've got so much work I need to do. I know, bloody hell, these videos are going to be so boring, me just bleating on how busy I am, but I really don't have time to sit down and fix my bloody laptop. I'm hoping that because I've dedicated a fair amount of hours today to it, hopefully. That was my camera switching itself off. Even my camera's getting sick of hearing me bleating on. But yeah, basically I was saying, hopefully, now that I've sort of dedicated a couple of hours to it, hopefully it shouldn't be causing too much problems here on out, but who knows. It's now 4:25, and Jim and Joe should be home hopefully at about 5 o'clock-ish. I've made some really good headway with my computer, so that's good. Managed to quickly edit the video that's going live today from yesterday, so that's good. I'm just gonna have to I'm gonna have to dedicate a bit of time a little bit more time to it next week. I just fit it into my schedule somewhere, but I feel like I've made a solution for now, which is good. I think probably the very worst outcome would be that I've spent all day like trying to, or a vast proportion of the day trying to fix and resolve an issue, and wouldn't have got any further with it, but I kind of feel like I have. So light at the end of the tunnel and all that. So yeah, I feel like this is, I don't even really know what I filmed today, because I feel like I've been so focused on fixing my computer. But one thing that I did want to say is that on days like this where I was in the house on my own for the whole day, was when my binges and purges used to be at their most worst. And literally, like, although I've not made such a huge progress in the amount of weight I've lost this year, that is like massive progress, that I'm not in that place anymore. This might be really weird, but I'm just going to take you through a couple of things. So in my fridge, I've got a piece of chocolate cake that's left over from the cake that the boys bought. I had a really small piece yesterday, but that's been in there all day. I've got loads of there's loads of cheese. I don't know where all the cheese has come from. Oh, there's a baked potato there that I didn't really know about. Probably one of the hardest foods for me to not crave and binge on is bread. More importantly, toast. That was just my butter knife. Thankfully, didn't chop off my toes. That would have been a perfect end to a frustrating day. I've had, the only slice of this that I've had is actually the little star croutons that I made, and it wasn't even the whole slice. So I had a loaf of bread in there. And this might seem like really stupid what I'm doing now, but guys, there was a time when I would have eaten the whole loaf, the whole thing to myself and more. And then in this cupboard, which is, Jim got a hamper of goodies for his, it's his birthday this week, and he had a hamper with loads of lovely, lovely treats. This is a packet of delicious shortbreads from Marks and Spencer. There's some of these really delicious cookies. Jim had a couple last night, but there's quite a few left in the pack. There's still the box of mince pies. I've had another one of these, but other than that, they're completely full. There's crackers. There's nice yummy bars of things. And all that aside, I would have been straight onto Uber Eats and what's the other one? Uber Eats and, God, that's improvement, isn't it? If I can't even remember what the bloody thing's called. Just Eat, that's it. I would have been on there delivering to the house. I would have had a delivery, breakfast, lunch and something else, and then eaten whatever else is in the house. Pasta sandwiches. Yeah, anyway, so basically what I'm trying to say is that I feel like that is probably the most success that I've had with my journey so far, is that although sometimes I do still overeat, and you know, there's days where I'll have a takeaway or things like that, I don't binge and purge anymore. I haven't done that for over a year. And a couple of you have actually reached out and requested that I do a video about how I sort of overcame that period of my life, which I'm totally gonna do. So if you are interested in seeing that, do make sure that you're subscribed and you have the notification bell on so that you will get a notification, because I'm not sure when it's going to be, but I'm definitely going to film it at some point throughout December and include it in my Vlogmas series. But yeah, it's so crazy because it is just one of them. If this had been a year ago this day, I would have 100% binged like the whole day. And I think that kind of came from a place of myself and Jim are both self-employed and we're both at home a lot of the time, so it's quite rare for me to be at home on my own for the whole day. So when that happened, it was a huge trigger, and it wasn't the fact that it's not got anything really to do with Jim or like feeling like I have to restrict food around him. It was more like me and my little secret time. But like, I'm not going to go into it in too much detail now because like I said, I'm going to sort of dedicate a whole video to that. But yeah, it just occurred to me and I was like, it's such a trip that this is not a thing anymore, that I can just like have a day where I'm not constantly thinking oh, the next takeaway that I'm gonna have, how am I gonna hide all the food packaging and stuff. So yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. I'm just gonna grab a cup of elderberry and echinacea tea. I think we're having the vegetarian butcher Great Scallops. It's like a take on the Great Escape. They have puns on the packaging, which I'm a super big fan of. But Jim really likes them, so I think we're gonna have them. And the other day when we went to the farm shop, we picked up some really beautiful salad potatoes. We also have some carrots, so I'm going to cook them. I might have this banana actually because it needs eating. And I think Jim and Joe are going to be a little while off, and I'm actually feeling a little bit hungry. And I don't like to let myself get too overly hungry, because then I really struggle with portion size. I think that's probably one of my biggest downfalls, is I just have no kind of understanding of what a normal portion size is, and neither does my stomach. So I think that's one sort of area that I'm going really wrong. So I don't like to let myself become too overly hungry. It's just a total fine balance, because I'm trying to get to a place where I allow my hunger to grow so that I can appreciate my meal, and that I can actually, because I read something in, oh, I'll just get the dog. One of Jim's birthday presents just being delivered. But yeah, I was saying that I read something in, I read a book called How to Retrain Your Appetite, and it was saying something about when you're a foodie like I am, how when you eat too much, sometimes you can't appreciate the meals fully that you're eating because you're full. And that was like a revelation to me. And when I actually sort of like thought, okay, well, let's try and see what it's like, you do appreciate a meal a heck of a lot more if you're actually hungry. So anyway, I'm gonna go and drink my tea, finish uploading this video, finish off a couple of work emails, and then I'm pretty sure Jim and Joe will be home for tea then. So after hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, I have got somewhere with my computer, made really good headway, and hopefully it shouldn't create any issues for the foreseeable. So that is good. And Jim and Joe are home now, so I'm going to be making dinner. Excuse me. And we're gonna have these, which is the Great Scallops. They are yummy. And we're having them with boiled new potatoes, broccoli, and carrots. So I'm gonna get making dinner. So we've just finished having dinner. It was really yummy. I've got 264 calories left for a dessert or something sweet, but right now I am super full. So I will just update you in tomorrow's video if I do end up eating something, but I'm just gonna finish today's video here. So I have eaten 1,136 calories. My goal is 1,400, so I have 264 left. I'll just complete my diary. If every day was like today in 5 weeks, I'd weigh 13 stone, 5.6. So I really hope that you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe for those happy vibes. And until next time, stay happy, healthy and well. Bye guys.